Hi, you are.
Hello, I'm Maria Leeson.
Okay, I'm pleased to meet you. Thank you for coming in today. Did you bring me a copy of your resume?
Yes, I did.
Oh, very good. Now, what are you interested in doing?
I heard you were going to implement Orchestrator, and I already have experience in Microsoft System Center Configuration Manager, Operations Manager, and Service Manager. And since Orchestrator works with all of those integrated, I feel like that would be a perfect fit.
Tell me a little bit about your experience. How much? How long?
I've been working with computers for a very long time, since I was probably about 10. And it was like a self-developed interest, and my sister kind of taught me some things, but then I started doing self-teaching, and I would make websites for fun, and then I decided it was what I wanted to do for college, so I went to that for my college career. And I've had a few jobs with this so far. I've worked at Culver Stockton, I worked at St. Xavier, and I worked at Grosvenor Capital Management, doing just a very wide spectrum of computer-related tasks.
Okay. Now, you're going to graduate in May with a computer studies degree from St. Xavier.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about that? Is that computer science?
No. Computer science here was heavily focused on programming, but the computer studies degree was a little different. It was sort of an overview of all the different aspects in the computing field, such as networking, servers. We had a little bit of programming, and then website design.
Did you like programming?
I found that I actually did like programming, so I'm sort of doing the self-teaching again. I want to learn Visual Basic Script, and I also want to learn PowerShell.
PowerShell?
PowerShell.
Tell me a little bit about PowerShell.
I'm not too familiar with it yet, but I know it's a really powerful coding language, and you use it to create sort of these files that automate installations of applications. Like, say you have iTunes, you double-click the PowerShell file, and it installs iTunes automatically, and no one can see it installing, and then it's just automatically there. So I find that incredibly interesting, so I'm looking into studying that.
Okay. I don't think I'd heard of it before. So it sounds like you're very, very motivated. How do you get so motivated?
I like learning, and I like the job well done, because that feeling after completing something, working incredibly hard, just trying to figure a little problem out, and then just having that satisfaction of completing it. And that's just why I like the computing field so much, because it's so there's so many problems, and then you have to go and solve them to achieve certain goals, and I just think it's really interesting, and I like it a lot.
Sounds like you relate very well to the machines and the software. If you had to make a choice, would you say you relate better to computers or people?
It depends. I'm good with communicating and getting my points across and everything, and I can explain to people what's going on with the computers and all that, but computers they just come so naturally to me, and I really am able to understand them and try to figure out how to get things done quickly and efficiently, and probably computers then.
Okay. Probably computers. Well, we have computers here, but we do have people. How are your working relationships? You have a couple of different jobs listed.
Oh, they were very, very good. I get along really well with the people in my department, and I'm able to. I've never had anyone hate me on a job or dislike me at all. I'm able to communicate properly. People say that I'm friendly enough to get along with, so I think I'm very good at that.
What would you do if you found yourself in a work situation where it became very obvious to you that someone you were going to have to work with did not like you?
Act professionally, and maybe speak to them about it if it's affecting the job environment. But I've never really had that happen before, but I know communication is a really big thing that you have to do with that. So I definitely communicate with them and tell them, ask them what's going on, and just very professional though.
Okay, when you're communicating, do you send emails? Do you text? Do you sit down and talk with a person? What's your preferred method to communicate with a coworker?
It depends on what you're communicating about. If you're just trying to send them like a quick little notice on a project that you're working on, an email is fine, but if it's like an issue or just like a really big problem that you just need to like talk out and plan out, I mean, face-to-face is probably the best way to communicate with someone.
Okay. So what do you think your biggest strengths are? Your experience or your education, or what, if you had to give yourself the greatest strength, what would it be?
My ability to learn. And that sort of reflects in the experience that I have. I'm able to learn things quickly, and I'm able to learn things well. And then as soon as I'm able to learn it, then I can start helping with whatever project is going on, and just probably my ability to learn.
Okay. What was your GPA at St. Xavier?
It was 3.4.
3.4. Is that a good, accurate reflection of your work?
Yes, I worked hard. Some classes are a little bit tougher than others, and you can never tell with the teachers, but I worked hard. I always tried to get the best grade possible, and I put my best effort into it.
If you could design your own job, what would it be?
Everyone would be working in sync. There would be really good communication. We would be able to get projects in quickly with the communication, because if people can express what's happening, then there's no downtime and, oh, what's going on here, what's going on there. And if everyone's just connected and synchronous, then I just think that that's the best way to work.
Okay. What's the ideal supervisor for you?
Someone who cares about their employees. In some of my previous jobs, my one boss I had, he focused specifically on each employee in his department. And he made sure that we were doing things that we liked, that we cared about, so we could get enthusiastic, we'd be excited to come to work every day. And I just think that's really important, because you're coming to this job every day, and if you're not enthusiastic, and if you just have to love it. So that's probably the best way to go about doing that.
Okay. You have a very strong work background, you have a good education, you have good grades, but you must have a weakness. Everyone has a weakness. What weakness do you have that makes work a little stressful at times or difficult?
Well, most of the time, I'm best off working alone, and sometimes when I'm in a project and I have trouble working with some of the people in my group, I just find myself sort of completing the entire project by myself. So teamwork is something I struggle with a little bit, but I know that because I struggle with it, I work harder to make sure that I communicate better and I work on a team.
Okay. So your weakness is you get too involved with your own work when you're working alone?
Well, no, I just like completing things on my own. If someone is slacking a little bit too much, then I'll just take complete control, because I want to make sure the job is done right. I want to make sure it's done quickly, and...
Now, what if that's stepping on someone else's toes in our department?
Well, that's why I'm working incredibly hard to work better with team environments, and because I know that's how most places are. They work with team environments. And, yes.
All right. What gave you such a strong work ethic?
I kind of grew up with it. My dad has a really strong work ethic, and my sister has a really strong work ethic, and they inspired me to just work hard, because the benefits are good if you're a hard worker, and it just pays off in the end.
Okay. Are your parents in the computer field?
My dad is, my sister is, and my other sister is going to be. So
Oh.
it's the whole family.
Oh, so you're all interested.
Absolutely.
All right. What about the future? Where do you want to be in 3 to 5 years?
I want to go into management eventually, and if I'm not there in 3 to 5 years, I just want to be working towards that goal. So gaining management skills, learning to work with groups and teams, and learning to manage people.
Okay. What do you think the three strongest characteristics that a manager can have?
Caring about their employees, knowing how to be efficient so you can get things done quickly, and communication, of course, because if you can't communicate, then no one's going to know what you're trying to say.
Okay. Do you think you would make a good manager?
I think with time and experience and just work, I'll be able to get to that high level. I don't think I'm there yet. I might eventually have to go back to school, but I mean, I'm just going to try my best to get to that place because I really want to get there.
If you went back to school, what would you study? Would you continue in computing, or would you try to study management, or what?
I would mostly focus on management or project management. Those are the two ones I was considering.
Okay. And do you have any idea about when you would want to do that?
Not really. It depends on what kind of experience I get in the workplace and if that helps me get to my end goal of going into management.
Okay. So you've had 1, 2, at least 3 jobs. Maybe 4 here, I can't quite tell. Do you have references from all 4 of those jobs?
Yes,
You do. Would they be good references?
absolutely.
And if I wanted to call them and talk to them on the phone, would that be okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. What do you think they're going to say about you?
They're going to say good things because that's what they said to me, so hopefully they weren't lying. They'll say I have a strong work ethic. I'm good at doing things on my own and without lots of questioning. They'll say I was friendly, so good things.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
One of the biggest challenges someone is in this position is going to have?
Time deadlines, stress to meet time deadlines. We're very sensitive to getting things done here. That probably is the only major stress that we have here.
Good.
Do you have any other questions for me?
Would you like a copy of my references?
I would. Why, thank you. That is very, very good. Now, let me see. Here's Grosvenor's. Okay, you've got that right at the top. Here's St. Xavier.
I didn't have all of them on there. I can email you the other ones just because the page is getting kind of full. So if you'd like me to email you those, I can absolutely.
Would you get a reference from Culver Stockton if we asked for one?
Yes, absolutely.
All righty. Okay, is there anything else you'd like to tell us?
Can I have a business card? Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
All right, thank you very much.